So I'm planning my next rail vacation and looking forward to updating my next Euro travel secrets by rail. I'm thought it'd be appropriate to do a couple of updates. One of the major ones is that making ticket reservations on the French and Italian sites, which used to accept Global Pass reservations, now direct you to go to Rail Europe if you happen to be in the U.S. Well, that's fine. They are electronic tickets, and indeed you'll notice for Southern Europe generally, unless you're using regional trains, you will need a reservation. I threw in a reservation for a trip between Prague and Berlin only because, well, my Czech is not that good, and also that train is usually full, and I'm using the Austrian OEBBAT site for reservations, which are only €3 as opposed to the 4.5 for the German, and I'm doing it on the leg from Bologna to Austria, where it is required. A good place to start is, let's say, bahn.de, the German site, and start with some of the more complex ones because that'll help make the easier ones easier. And I'm going from Cologne to Montpellier, or more specifically Montpellier-Saint-Roch. French stations don't generally do like Central or Main or Hauptbahnhof. And, well, in any case, so I'm doing the routing, and let's see, I don't want to take the Thalys train because that, boy, it's still pretty darn expensive. You'll see abbreviated there as THA. And I have two other choices. One has me route through Karlsruhe. That's fine. Maybe go to Strasbourg. Nope, has me go to Paris, Est, changing to go to Gare de Lyon. That means I gotta go all the way across Paris by metro or RER, and your pass is no longer valid. No, I want to do something else, such as a more direct route via Valence. Now, a little bit earlier, nice thing about this, no Thalys. It says instead ICE. That means no reservation charge, and you don't have to go across Paris. So let's look for this itinerary. Now, because it's non-reservation, I really don't have to look for Cologne to start this. I can start the search with Brussels going to Rail Europe. Another reason I want to do that is I'm now looking for 2 trains. With Rail Europe, if you're looking for a 3-train combination, it does not like that at all. So I go to the Rail Europe site, now starting at Brussels, recall, and going to Montpellier, and wait a minute. I'm looking for the one that leaves around 10 a.m. I know it's further down the list here, but I'm saving us some time. And in doing so, I realized it's not there. Rail Europe does that a lot. Maybe I should look at the legs separately. Let's do that. So now I look for Brussels Midi or Sud, if you like, the main train station, and I could have changed it Valence. I happen to know that Lyon-Pardieu is a little bit better, and it's the center part of town, and so I find the leg. There it is at 10:17. No, we don't want that extra one later. There's a change. We want the direct train. By the way, even though this trip is leaning toward fast trains, convenience, I'm willing to pay a little bit more, not saving money. You know one of the reasons why? With the jet lag, you need a chance to recover. I've done all the sites. I'm going for the nightlife. I'm going for the disco nap. So I like to arrive at the hotel at 2 p.m. and wake up at 8 p.m. And here's our next leg, Lyon-Pardieu to Montpellier-Saint-Roch, and we're going to again take the direct train, again cheaper because it's direct. They always bill for that extra leg, and maybe a little bit of slack time to maybe have a bite to eat there in Lyon. That's not a bad idea. I did the first illustration because I like to do the more complex things first. So with that in mind, let's go back to the schedule, start at first place we do need a reservation, and that's from Antwerp-Anvers to Paris. Could have made a leg over to Lille, would have been cheaper. Used to do that a lot. There's no more direct intercity trains between Lille and Antwerp-Anvers. Maybe I could take an intercity to Brussels. Fine. But then I thought, well, I'll check the fare for the Thales, which still really expensive, has lowered its fares. And after doing comparison, it's the same price whether it's from Antwerp, Anvers, to Paris as opposed to Brussels to Paris. So with the theme this time, fast and quick and a little more luxurious, let's book it from Antwerp. My next leg is from Paris to Nantes. So simple, I'm going to skip it. Then I'm going from Nantes to Toulouse. A couple of ways to go. Frankly, because again the theme is let's compress the time, we're going to take the TGV back to Montparnasse and then directly from Montparnasse direct to Toulouse. When putting the bookings together, you save a little bit. And notice here it's on one ticket from the we.sncf site, which directed me back to Rail Europe. Well, now I'm going from Toulouse, Maravillo, to Madrid, two major stations, Atocha to the east and the south, Chamartín to the north and the west. In the old days, used to take a train over the Pyrenees to Barcelona, could have gone to the west, but here, new high-speed train, going to change at Narbonne and then take the combined international train from Narbonne to Madrid Atocha. Higher fare, closer to the border, cheaper the fare, and because it is to Madrid, it is a little more expensive. From Madrid, I'm going to Lisbon via Vigo instead of taking the hotel train, which is really expensive, takes forever and a day, literally. And by staying in Vigo, you gain the nightlife. Hotels in Vigo are like only 20 euros. Love Vigo. I think it's actually a better and cheaper choice. Any case, going to Vigo, early morning, late day. On these tickets, they will charge you $11, maybe 10 equivalent euros. But the trouble is, they're actually 6.5 euros. And since I got to do a free reservation between Vigo and Porto, then might as well do those at once. But I thought I'd just show it here. And you have to do the reservations in Portugal for Portuguese trains in Portugal. Let's look at the return possibilities. Now here I'm leaving Vigo, and do notice this is Vigo Guichard, which is the one you want to normally look for with the exceptions of trains to the further northwest. And I'm going to Barcelona. Here's a train. Oh, wait a minute. It arrives in Barcelona at 9 p.m. That's not so hot. It is a cheapie, though. Instead, we're going to be looking for a train that goes to Madrid, get a separate booking, then to Barcelona, saves 3 hours, costs a little bit more. In doing this long-range planning, we've also noted that sometimes you don't get what you're looking for, hence why the long-range planning, you wait to get and grab it as soon as it becomes available, because sometimes they quickly disappear. In this case, going from Barcelona to Brussels, particularly looking for that 8:10 departure with a direct connection to Brussels, avoiding that horrible change in Paris. We're going to be coming back via Cologne to Montpellier and then on to Nice. That's how we open the show. And from Montpellier to Nice is an inner city required reservation. Second leg is not. It will show it. It doesn't charge that extra piece, which is just a TER as opposed to the expensive TGV 2 hours earlier. We'll be changing from Nice with an Otello. Otello is not a rail company that honors the rail pass. Here, the early bird does get the worm. I've already bought the ticket. It's almost the same price as a reservation. In going from Nice to Florence, Firenze, from Nice, Nizza, many of the bookings have you go through Milano. No, I thought I'd go along the coast, means a change at Genova, Piazza Principia, and I'm going to be taking the slightly faster train, changing at Pisa. Well, since it's the same reservation charge, and you never know, I'm going to make the reservation all the way through to Roma Termini. And thence from Firenze, Santa Maria Novella, SMNN, to Rome, maybe Termini is pretty good, and vice versa from Rome to Bologna, using similar tickets on Train Italia, now having to be booked through Rail Europe. And then the Eurocity from Bologna to Innsbruck, and then further on to Vienna, with the second part of that leg on the Austrian Railjet, which does not need a reservation, and then back to Munich and on to Prague, no reservations. And as noted at the beginning, I thought I'd make a reservation just for safety, security's sake, from Prague back to Berlin. Bon voyage, goeie reis, gute Reise, and have a good one, okay?